Hi, how are you? Thank you for joining us for Cookies and Cocktails by AAMBC. My name is Brittany Miller, and I'm excited to be your host for today. Thankful to this pandemic, we are all home. These are the upsides, I guess, of dealing with uncontrollable circumstances. But there's pros and cons. We have our cocktails. We can chill, you know what I mean? We can see each other with LED lights, so it's all good. I wanted to introduce myself just briefly. My name is Brittany Miller. I am a publicist, a serial CEO. I have 4 brands under my communications company that I manage. And I'm also a brewing author, as I like to call it, because I'm currently still in the writing phase and the processing phase. But my book will be releasing very soon in the early part of January of 2021. I'm sorry, the late part of January 2021. But this is not about me. I'm excited to have such amazing guests today. We have Bianca Williams with us today, author, amazing author. She's in Baltimore, Maryland, so that is great. East Coast. We have Zuri Day. Thank you for joining us. She's an amazing author. We love to have her here today as well. And Jessica Cage, a fantasy author. We are happy to have you here as well. I want to give you a chance to introduce yourselves to our viewers. You can go ahead and start off, Bianca.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bianca Williams. I'm the author of the Sideline series. I just started writing in 2013, and I held on to my book for about 4 years before releasing the first volume in 2017. So I know what it's like to be in the writing phase and have a book.
Yeah.
Be all excited about that. So, but yeah, so far so good. I've released 3 books since 2017, and the Sideline series is complete.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a lot. And I've actually, just from talking to authors and just networking more, I've realized that like once you put your first book out, it's like you get the bug, you can't stop and they come rolling. That's what I hear anyway. So that's amazing. Zori, can you please introduce us to yourself and let us know who you are and what you're doing right now?
Hey everyone, all of my beautiful daydreamers. I am Zuri Day. I think I might be the OG in the room because I have been writing since 2008 and published over under the Zuri Day brand around 25 books so far, I think, something like that. I am published through Harlequin, which is the largest romance publisher in the world, and also under Kensington Books. So I write about real love happening in real life. That is my brand. You're going to find things that are actually happening right now. And with series such as the Blue Collar Lovers, with guys that you can actually meet. Okay. So I give you everything. I give you billionaires with the Desire line, and I give you Blue Collar Lovers with Kensington line. So I have something for everyone. If you love love, I have something for you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That is amazing. And there's so much that you can write about with love. It's very it's easy to maneuver and move and change and all of that customized. So that's amazing. I can't wait to read your books. Hi, Veronica. How are you? Also, I wanted to have you introduce yourself as well, Jessica. You can go ahead and let us know what you do, who you are. Tell us about your books.
Hi. Okay, so I had a little moment because Veronica was actually on one of my earlier book covers. So hey, girl.
Wow, that's awesome.
My name is Jessica Cage. I am an independently published author. I have published 27 titles. I write fantasy books featuring characters of color. I grew up loving all of these amazing stories of magic and mystery, but I didn't see myself represented in that. So I grew up and I wrote those stories, and I'm so happy to find that there are so many readers who were looking for that. So that's me.
Awesome. That, first of all, I gotta take a sip on that one. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my one little title together, okay? My one little book. You are amazing. Those little fingers go, and that mind goes. I know. I actually had a chance to check out your page earlier. And I love your keyboard. It's so just authentic and vintage and amazing. So I think maybe if I get one like that, I might get to touch.
Yeah, the sound of the keys is really motivating. It's like, keep going, and then it changes colors the more you type. So my mind is tricked, like, I got to do more words.
Absolutely. That makes sense. 1 second. I'm so sorry. We're about to have an amazing part of this segment right now. We're going to do a gift opening, which was actually gifted to us by AAMBC. They are presenting this entire production today. So we are grateful, obviously, for these gifts. They came in the mail. And let's see. Do you guys have yours right now? This is the cookies and cocktails portion. We get to snack and chill and vibe while we talk and learn and mingle and network. So
unfortunately, Brittany, my package is still en route. You know, I'm coming all the way from where you are to California. So I think it's the last place. Everything's been late. So, but I can't wait to get it.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, you know what? I'm going to take an extra little snack for you. I promise. I got you, sis. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So here you go. This is the gift that we have. It's amazing treats. And so to enter the giveaway, 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. So to enter the giveaway for sponsoring the cookies and the cocktails, we're gonna announce a winner at the end. So go ahead and ask a question during this segment while our guests are talking, and they'll definitely answer your question. But in addition to answering your question, you will be entered into the giveaway to receive a free gift. So that's awesome. Here's mine. Oh, they're so cute. Sorry, I'm gonna try to see if you guys can see close. Yes, they're so awesome.
Nice.
I gotta hide these from my kids now. Y'all know, I don't know if y'all know, but I have 5 daughters, and you gotta hide these from them.
My son is gonna be very happy because I have a chocolate allergy, so I can't eat anything.
Oh wow! So he has a gift then.
He's gonna have all of these.
Yes, he has a gift. He's gonna be jumping for joy, girl. Literally. Okay, well, let's get into the meat of this interview and this conversation. It's going to be awesome. I have some really cool questions to ask you guys, especially considering right now we're in the holidays, we're in the pandemic, unfortunately. You know, I hate to bring it up, but, you know, as much, but it's the reality. It's what we're dealing with right now. And for a lot of people, you know, it's not easy. You know, it's been a lot of shifting and challenges happening. And just in the line of work that I do, I've also been able to see a lot of the upside. I've seen a lot of people launch new businesses. I've seen a lot of people find themselves and their purpose during this time of being sat down. There's a lot of people who've lost their jobs and started new careers. So there's all kinds of, you know, perspectives of this. But one thing we're going to tap into today is the perspectives from the writers, writer perspective. During the holiday season, coupled with the pandemic. Before we get into some more specific questions, I wanted to just get an idea of how you guys have been coping and just creating new content and staying motivated as authors and creators during this time. And we can go in the same order that we introduced ourselves, just that way we keep a good flow. And we'll go from there. So you can start us off, Bianca.
Sure. At the very start of the pandemic, my anxiety was like on 100,000, just worried about everything. And then I just had to take a moment, like you said, adjust to it and use that opportunity to write. So during that time, I would say from March till about September, I was just like, I'm going to use this time to finish the third novel that I just released in December. So I actually used that stillness to just like really focus on the creative side of things and just to kind of flesh that out and complete it. So it was actually very good because I also have a different job during the day. So I was able to not be distracted as much with the pandemic. Now that the holidays are approaching and the book is actually released, I'm just in marketing mode right now. So it's just like busy interviews. You know, everything is done remotely now. I do miss the book clubs. I miss like going to the conventions and the book conventions because they're awesome where you get to interact with readers. So I do miss that. But again, it's all about adjusting.
Yes. And just, finding the same things we need in other forms. It's just finding the same things we need in other forms, in other ways, and through other resources. And that's how, like I said, a lot of people are really just birthing brand new ideas. So Zuri, let us know about you. How have you been coping?
Well, I tell you, for me, this has been an absolutely beautiful and amazing time. I have a different perspective of what is going on. In addition to being an author, I am a light coach. I am a spiritualist. And so for the last 3 years, I and the communities that I interact with have been knowing that the change was coming in 2020 because we were leaving, and I don't want to get too woo-woo for you, but we're leaving the Piscean age and we're going into the age of Aquarius. So what's happening now through this pandemic that I call a plandemic, but I won't get into that either. We are seeing the old system and the old ways fall so that a new, beautiful, amazing, wonderful earth can be birthed. So while I have been very empathetic to people who are just into the fear mode, I have encouraged to get out of the fear vibration and into the love vibration, because we are literally alchemists. We create our worlds. And so I have been able to create a beautiful little corner over here in California, where I live near Rancho Cucamonga. We always laugh on our block because it's like we're somewhere else. On our block, we're walking our dogs, we're doing our jogging, we're doing everything. And because as a writer, that I've been full-time since 2003, being at home by myself, isolated and working is nothing new. So I've been very, very grateful and just extremely blessed to not have my life interrupted that much, but also being very aware of and very sympathetic to so many people who have had their lives interrupted, disrupted, who are living in the fear vibration, who are living with the surface image of what's going on instead of going deeper into the spiritual image and knowing of what is really happening underneath what people are hearing on mainstream media. With writing, it has been really interesting because with my passion as a life coach and as a spiritualist is as important as my writing. So for a while, it actually was really, really tough. It was really, really tough for me to write about what, in the face of what was going on, was a very frivolous, makeup world. At the time it started, I was writing about the billionaire breedloves in Nevada and just everything so great. And they got all the money and they got all the fame. And I just wasn't into it. I wasn't into it because there was so much happening in our world that was stranger than fiction. But I have finally been able to balance it out, and I actually did produce. I did finish 2 books during this time, as crazy as it is, and I'm finishing up the 3rd one right now. So I've been able to work through it, but honestly, myself and a lot of writers, it was very difficult to focus just because of all of the energy swelling around us.
Yes, absolutely. And something that you said about just not holding on to the fear and just not being stuck in that fear space. I think it also helps just to remind ourselves that we're human. First and foremost, because just being human alone, we're going to experience fear for things that are unknown. So if we redirect the fact that we're afraid because we don't know, as opposed to we're afraid because the world is going crazy, you know what I mean? That I think is the, a nice grounding point for us to just kind of mellow out that fear some, because when you realize why you're afraid, and that it's because it's just lack of information and not knowing what's going on and what resources are available and different things like that, it just takes away some of that fear. So definitely. Jessica, let us know, what are you doing during this time, during this pandemic? What do you have going on?
Well, I entered the pandemic. I probably was one of the few people that was like immediately happy for it because I'm like, I get to hide in my cave and not have to deal with people and, focus on, of course I was concerned about, the outcome of it, but it's like, this is my time to focus on building in certain areas. So I was learning how to use like InDesign and creating stuff. And cause I'm an artist at my heart. So I started off really strong in the pandemic, but we lost my grandmother.
Wow.
So my grandmother is the reason that I'm a writer. Like I started writing because of her.
Wow.
When I was a kid, yapping in her ear, she would hand me a pen and paper and say, go write it down and I'll read it later. So that's how I started creating stories. So it was really hard for a while there just to even look at my computer and say, I'm going to write a story. Cause like, I can't give it to her to read when I'm done. My grandmother has read literally everything I have written since I was, I don't know what age, 9 or 10.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it was hard to get back to my keyboard. So I actually went to TikTok. I think what a lot of people did, I went to TikTok to escape, and I posted a video about my books on TikTok, and it blew up. And now I'm like 65,000 followers with film production stuff in the works, and all because of TikTok. So I feel like accepting that this was supposed to be a shifting time for me was a big part of it. And now I have all these projects and opportunities that are opening up.
And not to push my own theories, but I believe too that's your grandmother's energy still too, pushing you to do what she always pushed you to do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And now
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be a greater force. You know what I mean? So definitely keep doing what you're doing. And you're not alone in how you felt in the beginning of the pandemic, because I was the same way. And more so not so, like, for me, I was always kind of a homebody, because I work so much. So I work, and I'm an entrepreneur full time. So I don't, I work within my home office. But the excitement for me came from the fact that I started, thinking 10 steps ahead. And I said, wow, this pandemic is probably going to cause a lot of people to lose their jobs. It's probably going to cause a lot of people to be scrambling for something to do. And then the light bulb went off, and I said, people are going to finally jump into their purpose, and they're going to start businesses, and they're going to begin platforms, and they're going to inspire others. They're going to start talking about their feelings. I was like, this is going to be so amazing. So that was kind of like my excitement about it and where it came from. Regarding the pandemic, obviously, likewise, still being sensitive and empathetic to just, everything that wasn't so good that came through this pandemic, because, I've had family members who've gotten it and gotten sick. I know people that have passed away. So I do understand. But what I will say, and what I will commend all of you if we're doing, is using this time and space to create, and to just make amazing things, make things work, and just creating new everything, new streams, new perspectives, new agendas, new projects. And right now we have a guest question. So remember what I said earlier, guys, to enter the giveaway, ask our guests a question. And so right now we have a question from Cheryl Lynn Pope. How long does it take you to write a project? That's a good question. You can start off. Yeah, you can start off.
Do you want me to take that? Okay. For me, my very first book, I think it's because it's inspired by true events, and it was after a pretty bad breakup. It took me 6 months to write that first book. I had over 80,000 words done in 6 months. But the other two books, I would say an average of 2 years.
Wow.
From start to finish to completion, like from starting to write through editing and to publish.
Wow, I like your titles, by the way. I love your titles. They're so bossy. Like, I don't know, they're just so bossy, and I love it. If you haven't seen my shirt, you know what I'm saying? I'm that's one of my brands. So I'm all about the boss vibe. And that's definitely what I got from your titles. Zuri, can you let us know about how long it takes you to write a project?
Well, writing is my gift. And my very first book, my very, very first book that I put out took about 9 months because I didn't know anything about writing or the industry or anything like that. I actually independently released my very, very first book before I got a book deal. But now I can like pick one out in 2 to 3 months. At the height of my writing, I was having 6 books a year published, 6. So, I can be what you call a writing fool, just a writing fool. Because when the story is just like kind of takes over, but that's really, really pushing it. And then it's also kind of difficult because I'm normally writing 2 or 3 books at once. So it's kind of hard to put a time frame on. So I say anywhere from like 2 to 4 months to just kind of say something, but it's really difficult because I'm always in different stages, writing one book, another book is being edited, doing page proofs. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
Listen, that's what it's like. Yeah.
First of all, y'all gonna keep hearing this, first of all, because it's too much. But no, seriously, that just writing multiple projects at one time is a lot of work, because just keeping your plot separate and keeping your ideas honed in. But I guess it maybe also, I can see how it can be second nature to a creative, because where things belong, in your mind. But that is awesome. Me personally, I know I can do about, I don't know. I could do about 1,000 words an hour, maybe. But the hard part for me is, it's just the time and just making sure you get a chance to do it daily. Jessica, do you have any feedback for that question? How long does it take you to do your projects? I know your projects are like out of this world too.
Yeah. It's about the same 2 to 3 months per book. You kind of get into a rhythm, and I honestly feel like I'm not really creating these stories. I'm looking in another universe, and I'm just writing down what they're doing. Like, my characters are very vocal in my head. Like right now, I have one that's like yelling, like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be writing." So as they come, I just kind of document what they're telling me, and it flows like that. I feel really connected to the storylines, and I think that helps. My first book took me 9 months, but it was my first, and I wrote it while I was pregnant. So, I was on bed rest, like, what else you gonna do? So.
First of all, that's dope. Okay, that's dope. Just the fact that you like you said, that you could feel like you have this other world, and you can kind of see, like, it's less work because you're gifted. It's already there. The story is already in your mind. You've already thought it up. You've already got the vision. So that is amazing, and I'm sure it's a testament of the quality of your work. That's something a lot of people can't do. So I definitely commend you on that. We have another guest question. I'm sorry. I'm going to try my best to pronounce your name properly because I'm a name person. I think Shoma or Shioma. She wants to know, what is it like writing your first work and what inspired it? That's a good question too. Y'all got some good questions.
Yes. So my first work, it was hard. That's the best word that I could use to describe it. By day, I'm a director of finance. So I like wasn't necessarily a writer per se. I loved like taking writing courses in college, but I always felt like I didn't have a story. So it
Yes.
wasn't until I had this life-changing experience that, you know, I had this vision for this project. So it was very hard. And because it was inspired by true events, it was like one of those things where I had to like skirt the line and figure out what I could include and what I couldn't include because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to end up in a lawsuit. But and it was just very, very difficult. And just emotionally, just going to those places to dig deep so that it could resonate and actually, you know, get the story out of me and onto the paper. So for me, it was pain that I was going through that inspired the trilogy.
Yeah, and I can feel that. You know, the book that I'm writing currently is a nonfiction. I know some people take their story and they turn it into a fiction. I actually have a client like that who turned her nonfiction story into a fiction. But I was interested in something you said. I know we definitely have to get the other guest to answer the question. But I was interested in something you said about the lawsuit situation. I'm going to come back around after you guys all answer this question because I have the same kind of concern. I want to just make sure that I'm covered because when you do share real situations and things like that, you know, it can get sticky. But before I come back to you with that, Zuri, please let us know what it was like writing your first work, your first book. What was that like?
Well, that's an interesting question for Zuri, as some of you ladies just found out as we were backstage. So I will say my first book was difficult because before romance, I had written contemporary fiction. And so when I was asked by my editor if I thought I could write romance, I said yes, because I'd always loved to read romance. In fact, it was the very first grown-up book, I guess you could call it, that I read, sneaking them from my older sister. But so when I wrote my first book, Lies Lovers Tell, which is still one of my favorites, I thought it was amazing. And I sent it to my agent, and then I sat back, you know, as though I was waiting to be fed grapes.
Wow.
And received all of my accolades for how brilliant my work was. And I'll never forget when she called me. She asked me if I was sitting down and if I had a minute. And I thought, oh, that doesn't sound like the response I was looking for. And then she said, you have written a very good contemporary fiction story.
Wow.
And then she asked me, are you a member of RWA, which was Romance Writers of America at that time? It's just about gone now. That's a whole nother story because of what was uncovered going on within that organization. And then she suggested some books for me. So I actually had to step back. I went to the bookstore. I bought several books on writing romance because there are formulaic structures involved that makes a book a romance. And then there's certain things that happen that can take it out of being a romance and put it into the contemporary fiction category. After I did my homework, I was able to tailor the story into a romance novel that, like I said, I'm still very, very proud of. Lies Lovers Tell.
Awesome. That's amazing. And you know, a lot of times I just hearing different people's story in general, just through business, you realize that a lot of people's first work that they've done in any industry has been a learned experience and they didn't know what they were actually getting into until they got into it. And that's another testament and another you know, perspective of being gifted. You know, you don't even know what you're doing and you're doing it. So that's beautiful. You know, and that was, like I said, that was a great question, just because a lot of people right now are starting their first works and writing their first books. And this advice is great for them. But I'm going to go back around to my other question, just because, like I said, Bianca sparked a little bit of interest there. I know we do a lot of talk about fiction books and fiction novels because they're great, they're amazing. But we do have a lot of authors out there who do nonfiction or who turn nonfiction into fiction. So if I could get a little bit of insight on what you guys think about, those fine lines between that defamation of character thing, and stuff like that, because we do, like I said, we have stories and we want to tell.
Yeah, for me in the beginning, the storyline was very, very close to the truth. And then I realized, the truth is ugly. It's not entertaining at all. So at that point, I had to really use a creative license to make it fun and entertaining, but still be very close to a real life situation, because it was. I tried to stay away from anything too personal. I definitely changed names, places, and I tried not to put information out there that wasn't already public information. So that kind of was my guide. And so I was just like, if the book was read, it's like, oh, you said this. Well, that information is already out there. If somebody Googled the person, it's already out there. So it wasn't like I didn't do any additional damage. And then at the end of the day, I was like, it's my story. It's my truth. Yes. And so I just kept that at the forefront the entire time that I was writing. This is my story. This is what happened to me. And and it's okay to share that.
Yeah. That makes sense. I appreciate that. Yeah. I do. Do you have any advice for us, Zuri, on that topic? I know that you guys write fiction, but when it comes to telling a true story, because even in fiction, we incorporate true things at times, and how do you, I guess, blur those lines and just help to cover yourself and make sure that you don't have issues when it comes to referencing anything that's real?
I actually think, sorry, I was muting and muting. I actually think that's a great question, and I've dealt with it quite a lot, because I do, my brand is real love within real life. So I often use real life characters, especially celebrities, places, people, and things. And one of the rules of thumb, like Brittany said, is if it is something that has happened in the public eye, especially if it's a celebrity, then that's fair game material, which is no more evident than with the trilogy that I will be releasing independently next year, called the Entanglement Trilogy. And you get 3 guesses of where that idea came from, and the first 2 don't count, okay? And so the 3 books are called Enlightened, Entwined, I'm forgetting my name of my own book, not Enlightened. That's the Spirit Coach. Hold on. Entrapped.
There we go. Yeah.
This is what happens when you have so many books in your head.
See, I knew it was crazy.
Entwined and Entangled, which definitely came straight off the pages of the whole Jada Pinkett scandal. So we do have that amount of flexibility when someone, as you said, Brittany, when it is already out there. Now, when it comes to people, this is just a little tidbit for you writers. You can't put words in their mouth. So you can't say Oprah said and then make up something she said. That's a lawsuit. But I can say on the Oprah show such and such and such, or Oprah and Gail, or you can use any public figure name as just a general comment, but you can't make up a story about them. And then the final thing I will say is if you're not a member of the Authors Guild, I would definitely recommend that you join them. They're very inexpensive. It's a nonprofit group, and they have a legal team that can answer any question that you might have. If you feel that something is borderline, you can send the passage to them, and they will let you know, where you are with it.
That's great awesome. Question. That's super helpful. Thank you so much. And guys, if you're watching, I hope you got that. Zuri, would you mind just repeating that platform for them one more time?
Yes, it's called the Authors Guild, GUILD.org. And they're excellent. Perfect. Yes, they're excellent.
Perfect. Yes, that sounds amazing. It sounds excellent. First of all, anytime you can get some legal advice real quick, listen. That's great. Jessica, what do you have to tell us? I'm interested. I know you got some real stuff in those books.
I do not.
Really? It's all
I mean,
fantasy?
I have
Come
like
on, girl.
characters who are inspired by certain people. Like lessons that I've learned from my grandmother are in my book. You know, essence of my mother is there, but I don't. None of my characters exist in the real world. Like
Gotcha.
I've
Okay.
never
Okay.
done that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't feel like I make my characters up. They just exist in there. So
Gotcha. Sounds like a plan. Well, that makes it easy. You don't have to worry about it because you know the only people I guess that would be upset about what you said are the people themselves. So that's that's awesome. We have another question from AAMBC Book Club. Anyone writing any holiday books or movies in the near future or the future? Holiday books, movies, or also are you transferring your books into screenplays or movies also? Let us know that too.
Yeah, that's definitely on the to-do list. I would definitely like to turn my sideline series into some type of, I don't know about the big screen, but maybe some type of Tyler Perry special, 3 episodes, Lifetime. I don't know, Netflix, something like of that sort. To turn all 3 books into a screenplay. I think it would be awesome. But no holiday books anytime soon. Not for me.
No,
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't have any holiday. I don't know. Every year I say I'm going to do it and it never happens. But I do actually have 2 production things happening. So I'm working on one book that's going to start being converted to script next month.
Wow! Congratulations.
So we're hoping to have it filmed this summer coming up. So busy. And then another opportunity that came from TikTok of all places. For kind of a Kickstarter film based on some Black Disney princesses. So we're doing some things. I'm excited.
Congratulations. That's major. That is major. Yes. Let's give her an applause on that. That's major.
No holiday books in the near future for me. I literally, my calendar is out till about 2024 right now with projects. And since my very first book, what some people don't know is my background before I became a full-time writer was as an actor, and I actually wrote screenplays and stage plays. So every single book that I write is a movie. And I am so thankful that now we can produce them independently. So I hope to release my first movie in 2022. And it will be produced by, yes, thank you so much, because we no longer have to wait for Hollywood. I can't tell you how many times my agents have submitted my stories to white men who ask what do they do with that? You know what I'm saying?
All right, now.
So I'm so thankful that now I don't have to wait. You know, I have a production team that I've already getting together. And since my background is in that realm as well, I plan to direct it. Stay tuned. We'll see if that continues to be my thought as I get into the process. But yes, every single book I write, I see it as a movie. And let me just go ahead and speak that into existence.
Yeah,
so
please do. Please do. Receive. Yes. And while on the topic of holiday books, do you guys have any book accessories that currently are coming with your books when people order for gifting, things like that? People who want to buy your books as Christmas gifts for others. Are there any accessories like bookmarks, things like that that you're offering, or signed copies, things like that the viewers should know about?
Yes, if anyone buys directly through my website, the book will be signed and it'll come with a bookmark and a pen. Yes. But I also have Know the Plays That Get Sideline mugs.
Yeah.
for gifting ideas. So if anybody wants to, get a signed copy, these are available.
That's awesome. Branding is on a
this is my slogan. Know the plays that get sidelined.
Love it. Absolutely.
Nothing for me right now, since I'm not doing anything through the holidays, and also because my books are through the publisher. I'm traditionally published. However, I'll have to think about some kind of, maybe a sex toy that I can give people who buy the Entangled trilogy. See if they want to get entangled, because that is an independent release. And I always tell people that the best world to have as a writer is the best of both worlds, to write with a publisher and independently. Get your grind done.
I know that's right. And as many interviews as I've done with authors, as many authors as I've talked to or had with clients, that's something that I've honestly never heard done intentionally. Like, I've heard people that said they published with a publishing company and then they decided to self-publish, or the other way around, where they self-published first and then their next book they decided to. But, I've never heard anyone say, like, do both. You know what I mean? That's dope. That's definitely dope. And that marketing feature you decided to add for your entanglement series. One thing we know about marketing, honey, we know what sells, okay? And whenever you have something creative anyway in marketing, and this is just from a branding and PR perspective, when your marketing is creative and you introduce something that no one else really has thought of or seen before, or, in that structured space, honey, it does numbers. So I will be looking out for you, and I'm excited about that.
Thank
How about
you,
Jessica? You're welcome. How about you?
I don't have anything nearly as spicy as that, but I do create my own custom ribbon bookmarks. So there are bookmarks that have charms that are related to the series. So if you order it from the website, so like my Siren series, they come with like mermaids and anchors and stuff, because I feel like every book deserves a good bookmark. But I also have character card decks and, t-shirts and swag, like all that stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. That's dope. And we can find that on your site. They can find that on your website.
Oh, yep, absolutely. In the shop section.
Great. Well, that's amazing. Have you guys, we're going to get ready to do the trivia round soon. We have a lightning trivia, lightning round for the holidays, just to keep it fun and cute. But really quick right now, I just wanted to ask you guys, during the holidays, have you guys dealt with any kind of like writer's block, or just periods of being stuck or lack of motivation? Just for people who may be going through that right now. I know there's a lot of people who are, so.
I would just say, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go.
No, I was saying I haven't had any writer's block or anything like that, just because of what's happening right now, just being super busy. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was very difficult for me because of my multiple areas that I work in, especially as a spiritualist. I feel a lot of what other people are feeling and things like that. And my mantra is always be kind to yourself. Just be kind to yourself. If you have a writer's block, if you don't even feel like writing that day, if you're writing trash, whatever it is, be kind to yourself. Love on yourself. Love yourself. Forgive yourself. Be kind to yourself. All of that is so very important right now, because it is very, very, very difficult to be creative sometimes when there's so much swirling around you.
Yeah, I agree. And that, that frustration alone that you can have with yourself about writer's block can cause additional writer's block. So, just like she said, be easier on yourself and just let it flow. That's awesome. Okay, so we are going to head into our lightning round. This is a quick little trivia game that we're going to play. It's cool. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Well, I'm going to give you guys two options, and then you're going to announce your option, which you prefer, I guess, or which you choose, or you pick, or you like better. 1 second. Okay. So I guess we'll have everybody kind of just give their answers. Fruitcake or eggnog?
Eggnog.
Eggnog.
Is neither an option.
I know that's right. Well, one thing I'm not doing is fruitcake. I could do the eggnog. Eggnog can be good. I actually not too long ago I put eggnog in my husband's. Well, I tried to put eggnog in my husband's coffee, and he was like, no. But I thought it was like festive for the holidays. Okay, lightning. Sorry, Die Hard is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Dawn Michelle says eggnog, by the way, guys. And guests, viewers, feel free to join in on this game. Just have some fun. We're on a casual moment right now. So yes. Okay. Which is better? Okay, happily ever after or happy for now?
Happy for now.
Happy for now.
Why?
Happily ever after.
I know why. Why happy for now? Why you say happy?
Child, I'm a romance writer. HEA, baby. HEA.
I just feel like the story is never really over.
And happily ever after. How's that? Can we do both?
No, I don't know. The story is never really over.
So redefine what happily ever after means, right?
Yeah.
Happily after. I'll define it. Happily ever after means that once the last page of the book is read, they go off into the sunset and live a wonderful, amazing life.
I torture my readers because I refuse to give them a happily ever after.
Same here. They don't like it.
Happy for now. They may be.
You know what's funny? Sometimes happy endings kind of are disappointing when you're into something, because it's like, if you don't get to have more of the story, then you at least want like a wow factor. You want to at least walk away like, dang, that was crazy, So I definitely feel you guys on that, on happy for now.
Well, the thing about it now, and see, this is where the traditional world and the independent world dissects, because as the definition goes, if a book does not have a happy ending, it's not a romance. That's like kind of romance 101. Because that's why people read it. They know at the end they're going to get together no matter what.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Once the ending changes, then it becomes contemporary fiction. Still great book, but just But that's
not a romance writer.
What about if you write a romance and it doesn't necessarily have a happy ending, but it's to be continued? Does that count if the story's not over in a new book, or does that still considered an unhappy ending?
I would say that counts if it's a sequel and your fans don't get mad at you for not finishing the book. One of the reasons that Zuri is joining with Letitia Lovely to write the Entanglement series, because there's going to be all kind of stuff happening that's not romantic as they get to the end. So that's why.
But I think you can still have a happy ending, but just not right off into the sunset.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes. It's about the shift of the book and what's desired by the main characters, I guess.
Yes.
Because, if the main characters want to be, whatever their happy is going to be, that can be their happy ending. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
For sure. Okay. I'll catch your drift. Okay. So next question, Home Alone 1 or Home Alone 2? Come on now.
The original 1.
I
say 1. I don't even know if I saw 2. So yeah.
I'm gonna say 2 just to be different.
Yeah, I know that's right. You gotta play. Somebody gotta play the devil's advocate.
I
love the whole like New York thing. I just love that adventure part of it. So yeah.
See, me personally, I'm a Macaulay Culkin fan. I love him in that movie. I think he set the scene for child actors. Like, listen. So that's why I love Home Alone 1. I could watch that movie over and over and over. It's definitely a classic. Okay, next question. Big holiday dinner or small gathering? Not considering the pandemic.
Small gathering.
I would say have a big holiday dinner at that small gathering because I love to cook. That's one of my other things.
Yeah.
I'm a chef in my own mind, a vegan chef. So we already have our menu for Christmas, and even though it's only going to be a small group, like maybe 6 of us, we're throwing down in the kitchen, guys. We're throwing all the way down in the kitchen.
Yes. I know that's right. And I agree with you, Zuri. I'm with the big. First of all, I'm greedy. So more food, less people means good for me. That's good
Yeah.
news for me.
I'm always for a small, intimate. I don't like a lot of people, but there's always way too much food. We always overcook. So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. And I'm a cultural person too. I'm a mixed culture. So I love to just, when it comes to food, you got to mix the cultures up. I need a little bit of everything, a little bit of everything. All the best of all the worlds. Okay, one more lightning round question. Easy bake oven or Cabbage Patch Kid? Now you gotta have some age for this one on you a little bit. You can't be no young whippersnapper.
Cabbage Patch.
Neither. Neither.
Neither.
I ain't trying to put no fake food in that Easy Bake, and that Cabbage Patch doll was ugly. But like, shout out!
I had every single
to the millions of dollars made on that ugly doll. Shout out!
No, I love the Easy Bake Oven. I had every single one every year, and then the year I got too old to get one, and my mom didn't get me one, I was upset. I was hurt that year. I was like, "Where is my oven?"
It was like, no, but what are you
too old for that now? I don't care.
I love my Cabbage Patch doll.
Sorry, Brittany. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean. No offense to anybody who has one of those ugly. I mean, those amazing Cabbage Patch dolls. No offense, okay?
Let me tell you something. If anybody has a Cabbage Patch doll now, they probably worrying about the value more than the look because it's pretty old.
Right, exactly.
Yes. And
I mean, they were pretty expensive for like middle class families.
They were not.
When you think about it, yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually why I would probably have to say Cabbage Patch doll, only because I did have an Easy Bake Oven and I did love it. Cabbage Patch doll was something I always wanted, and my mom told me no for the same reason Zuri gave us, that it was an ugly little doll. So my mom told me no, and she told me no because it's ugly. And I was upset because I wanted it. So that's why I'm picking it, because I'm grown now and I like it. So yeah. Awesome. That was a cool lightning round. I like that. Right now, basically, we're going to prepare to close out soon, but we're going to definitely give our viewers a chance to ask more questions. I have another question. If you have questions, definitely let us know, and let us have the guests answer for you now while they're here, while they're live, while they're not in their labs writing 192 books. And so we have a giveaway winner for the treats. Giveaway winner is Cheryl Lynn Pope. So thank you to Phoenix Williams for sponsoring this giveaway. A club pickup bound, a Club Sugar novel today. The winner of the gift basket is Cheryl Lynn Pope. So congratulations, and thank you for interacting with us today and talking to our lovely authors, women of color, champions, queens, doer of all things, okay? And before we go, I do want to give you guys a chance to just pour back, because this is the holiday season. This is the season of giving. We are Black women who rock, okay? And so because of that, I would like to have you guys all give a token of your advice, whether it's through a story, a testimony, a couple of words, quote, a mantra, token, however you want to drop it. But just something for your supporters, our viewers and watchers, and just to take with them going forward, whether it pertains to writing, creating, or just life in general.
Okay, I would say if you have a dream, just to never really give up on that dream. Like I mentioned earlier, I had always wanted to write, but I didn't have a story. And then, you know, fast forward 20 years, the story found me. And so I feel like I'm now living this dream 20 years later. And yes, it was scary in the beginning, but I'm not going to give up. And I'm just going to keep going and chasing that dream. So if you're out there, and I know, Brittany, you said you're writing, you know, continue with it. And I wish you the best for it. Be encouraged, because it can be scary. It's like a baby. It can be very scary. So be encouraged.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. A lot, yes.
One of my favorite sayings comes from my girl Letitia Lovely, who says that words create the world you inhabit. Make yours lovely. I think that we don't understand that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We have no idea how powerful we are. We have no idea that our words and our thoughts are creating our world every single second of every single day. So I would say be mindful of what you're thinking about. And the barometer is how you're feeling. So if what you're thinking about is not making you feel good, then that's a thought you need to change. I also heavily encourage visualization and writing down the vision. Write down your dream and write it down as if it is already done. That's how I got my first book deal. I went in and I told them that I had sold out of my modest first print run. What I didn't tell them was the size of my first print run, which was 100 books. Okay. Spirit told me to come up with books. This is before Kindle. This is when you had to do everything by hand and send it off and all of that. And I only had the money for 100 books. And I thought, this is crazy. I'm upside down. I'm losing money, with these books. But what I had to do was be obedient, because I had 3 books left when I went to the Book Expo in 2006. And one of those books got to an acquisitions editor. And here I am 17 years later, still with that same publisher. So I would say visualize, believe it can happen, write it down as though it's already happened. So Brittany, write down, I am a #1 best-selling author, and put it in a frame, type it up, and every day look at yourself. I am the #1 best-selling author, and so it is.
Yes, and I'm going to say it with an attitude like I mean it. Yes, thank you so much for that. I needed that. Yes, appreciate you. Go ahead, Jessica. Yes, you can go ahead. Let us know what you got to tell the people. And I'm receiving as well.
So I just keep a message with me that my grandmother gave me when I was a very little girl. Wasn't writing books, but I was dealing with just loving myself, bullying and everything that was happening in my life. But she told me that to remember, you can't please everyone. Not everyone is going to like your message or your meaning for life. I'm going to get choked up because I'm talking about her, but
it's all right. You're doing so good and she's so proud.
But she basically told me, like, as long as you don't forget your reason for doing what you're doing and you don't lose your inner light, that you're on the right path. Sorry.
It's okay for crying. You're not
with me, because as a writer, I was told to take the characters' faces off my covers because they were Black. You'd sell more covers, you sell more books if you put white characters or no character on your cover. And my grandmother was in my mind like, this message, this light isn't meant for you. It's meant for someone else.
Yeah.
And I'm 10 years in, and those people that my work was meant for, they're finding me. So stay true to your message and your meaning and hold on to yourself. Just don't, the industry will try to change you. Don't let it, okay? Keep yourself.
That's that divine reward for obedience. That's what that is. The divine reward for obedience, to do what you were called to do and what you know inside that you're supposed to do, that only you can do the way that you do. And if you're obedient to that and you don't let challenges or opinions of others or pressures sway you, then baby, you will get paid 100-fold. You will get blessed 100-fold. So I'm definitely in agreement to that. And I commend you for, just giving us that token and sharing that with us from your grandmother. Things that, let me tell you, things that we get from, first of all, our wisdom, our ancestors, our people who have wisdom and have poured into us. Those things are priceless. They will never, if anything, their value grows. Okay. The more time passes, the value of those nuggets grow, because a lot of wisdom gets lost in a generation. So whatever you have from your grandmother, please continue to pour it into people, into your books, because even past your time, it'll be on those pages. So, that is how you assure a legacy. And that's part of the reasons why I'm, entering this author world. I have a lot to share, a lot to teach, a lot to do, a lot to show up for. So with that being said, I thank all of you for joining us today. All of you amazing guests, wonderful authors, amazing accomplishments, and as well as our viewers for watching and tuning in with us today. This was very casual and cool, which I love. This is the real, this is the authentic, side of things. And so just leave you with the token to be encouraged. And if you want to reach out to connect with anyone, I'm going to have everyone go around and just leave us with your contacts, how we can reach you, how we can support you, buy your books, and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. Again, my name is Bianca Williams. All of my social media handles are the same, B Will Books. And I'm most active on Instagram, so you'll find me there always on stories. And I've dibbled and dabbled with the whole TikTok and Reels. It's been exciting. But yes, you can find my books there. You can support me. You can buy books on my website, or you can go onto Amazon, Barnes and Noble. And if you read the trilogy, the Sideline trilogy, and you enjoy it, please leave a review, because I am independently published. So the more reviews, the more Amazon and the other platforms will, encourage their readers to take a look at the book. So thank you, B Will Books.
Thank you, Bianca.
You can go to zuriday.com.
Thank you.
And all of my handles, all of my social media handles are there. Zuriday.com. All my books, all my handles, everything you need to know. Zuriday.com. And have a Zuri day.
Thank you, Zuri. Perfection. Branding in a split second. I love it.
So it's same here, jessicacage.com. I am J Cage author on all platforms, and I'm really busy on TikTok right now. So come on over and I'm doing crazy stuff over there.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate you again. If you want to reach me at MrsBrittanyMiller.com, sorry, MrsBrittanyMiller.com, and it's abbreviated MRS for Mrs. And thank you again to AAMBC, as well as Phoenix Williams for sponsoring treats for our giveaway. And thanks to everyone again for watching and tuning in. We appreciate you, and we hope you have an amazing holiday season and New Year. Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you,
Thanks for having me.
It all starts with a spark. Like this thought or this vision in your head that gives you these ideas and these visions of who you want to be. And I can remember myself sitting in my room, writing in my journal about stories and characters of people I had no idea who they were. And I just knew that that's who I was going to be. I was going to write books. I was going to move to Atlanta, and I was going to become this big-time authoress. And I did that. I got the awards. I got the bestsellers list. I met some phenomenal people, and I've helped other people dream out loud. I think that when it comes down to dreaming, it's more than about just getting it done. It's about having fun and enjoying life while you do it. So y'all dream out loud with me.